Welcome back to Crypto Tutorial. On today's video, I would like to discuss Bitcoin and as well other type of cryptocurrencies and how they are currently performing. So please do not forget to give me a thumbs up down below. And as well, let's get started on what we are currently seeing in the overall crypto market. As well, if you are not able to hear me well, please do not forget to leave a comment down below. It will be highly appreciated, and I would actually like to get started on the daily time frame, taking a quick look at where we are currently at. So what you can clearly see is that we have seen multiple touch points below this on top of this ascending support. We have seen multiple touch points on the daily time frame. So this is a confirmed support line. So this is absolutely important right now. And as well, what you can clearly see is that we have seen multiple touch points below this ascending resistance. So this is for sure a confirmed ascending wedge. This is absolutely important, and it's a rising wedge, guys. What I must admit, what we are currently seeing does actually look very good, and the reason why is actually because if we take a look at this Fibonacci arc speed extensions, what you can clearly see is that they serve most of the times as a level of resistance. You could clearly see that here we did see like resistance, and as well we did see eventually support being found on the daily time frame right on top of the one Fibonacci, that is the gray line that we are seeing here. And once we did so, we saw clearly a breakout taking place, and as well we did see some kind of resistance underneath the 0.5. Afterwards we broke out above it, we did find support on top of it, and what I think is absolutely important is that approximately around 1 we did actually see a lot of resistance. So you could see a lot of resistance before we were able to break out above it and see a move towards the upside. So for sure, this is a quite good indicator to see where, well, levels of support and resistance are. And what I can clearly see right now is that we are heading currently towards a touch point on the 0.5, on top of the 0.5 Fibonacci. So that is for sure important to me, because if we are seeing a stronghold being found on top of this range, we could expect a movement towards the upside, exactly as we have seen before. But you can clearly also expect a movement further down towards a touch point on top of this ascending support. And why this is actually quite important is because we will be creating that rising wedge pattern with multiple touch points, and if we hold strong on top of this range, what I personally think will be a perfect buying opportunity, we could perhaps head towards a retest on the upper side and head straight back up afterwards. So that is for sure something you do not want to miss out on. But what we would like to see actually is let's compare this to the previous. You can clearly see that on the previous time we were like breaking out above the speed range, the Fibonacci speed retracement, and we did see a breakout. We went all the way up, we experienced some resistance here. Afterwards we went down, we found support on top several times, actually 2 times, and after that we saw a movement towards the upside. Something similar to this I think is quite likely to occur, but we would like to see that occur right now. And I personally think it is actually likely that we are going to hold strong on top of this ascending support during the upcoming days. So this being said, I would like to take a quick look at what else we are seeing on the Bitcoin chart, and I would like to actually take a quick look at the 4-hourly time frame. On the 4-hourly time frame, you can clearly see that we are actually right now, well, seeing a retest being created. Well, it depends a lot, but you can clearly see that we are retesting this arc right now. So if we zoom in, you can clearly see that we are seeing a retest of this arc. We are experiencing resistance underneath this 0.8236 382 level at the arc. So that is for sure showing us that we could perhaps expect a resistance here instead of support, and that we could perhaps see a downward momentum incoming afterwards, heading towards the touch point on top of this ascending support, where I personally think everything will still be very fine with Bitcoin and the overall price action. I will be a little bit more concerned once we see a breakdown occur below this ascending support range, because if this occurs, I personally think that will be actually quite bad for the overall trend. Well, this being said, I would like to place very fastly a retracement, a Fibonacci retracement. I will be selecting it from swing high towards swing from swing low towards swing high. And what you can clearly see is that I placed it like this because our previous trend was towards the upside. So this is the trend towards the upside, and currently we are seeing a trend towards the downside, and therefore I place my Fibonacci from swing low towards swing high. And if you would like to place a Fibonacci for an uptrend, you could better place your Fibonacci from swing high towards swing low, creating the levels of support and resistance for an uptrend. Well, this being said, let's take a quick look. If we do see a further breakdown heading towards the ascending support, will it also be able to find support on top? Yeah, you can clearly see that the 0.618 level of Fibonacci is also perfectly aligned with this ascending support, and that it is at approximately $50,838. What I would like to show you right now is actually something I think is actually very interesting, and that is the Bitcoin aggregated heat map. So what we are actually able to see here is where people are actually placing their buy and sell orders in the immediate short term. And what I think is quite important is that if we take and just a small quick explanation for all of you guys who are currently watching is that once we see a line become, well, yellow or orange, you might call this, once it is like very visible instead of the blue lines that are clearly not as visible as the yellow ones, that's a level where there are multiple buy and sell orders at this point in time. So you can clearly see that on the 4-hour time frame we can see that there are a lot of people willing to purchase Bitcoin at approximately 53,000, let's say $53,000. So that is what people do want to do right now. If we take a quick look at what we are seeing on the chart, well, you can clearly see that we are right now at $54,524. So meaning that people are right now willing to purchase Bitcoin a little bit further down at $53,000, approximately around here. But we are clearly finding a stronghold on top of the 0.5 range. So perhaps this is showing us that we are actually seeing enough strength getting created, and that these people won't actually get filled, and their orders won't be actually, well, they won't be able to purchase their Bitcoin or enter a long trade position at the wanted price. So this is actually looking very bullish to me, because once we retest this range, I personally think that it is likely that we're going to see a further decline. But if we are not retesting this range, well, I personally think it is actually very bullish. So what we are clearly seeing right now is that we haven't seen a retest of the Bitcoin aggregated heat map, and therefore I personally think that it is likely that we are going to find a stronghold on Bitcoin on top of the 0.5 level at 54,000 $341. Also, for all people who are currently watching, do not forget to give me a thumbs up down below. It will be highly appreciated. And also, you will be supporting the channel by doing so. So thank you very much already. Let's take a quick look as well at what else we are seeing. So if we enable the MACD, what you can clearly see is that we are actually losing a lot of momentum on Bitcoin. This is actually looking absolutely marvelous, due to the fact that if we do see a crossover occur eventually, it is very likely that we are going to see a movement towards the upside getting created. So that is for sure something I would like to see right now. And as well, what I think is quite important is that if we compare this, you can clearly see that we were creating a lower low on the chart, but we are seeing as well lower low on the MACD. So this does actually look very healthy to me. But if we head a little bit further in the past, you could clearly see that right over here we are creating a lower low right now on the chart. So this is a lower low. I will make it a little bit clearer by placing a small, let's take a quick look. I will place a small arrow. So we were creating this lower low, and we did clearly see as well on the RSI, on the MACD, that we are creating a higher low on the momentum indicator. This is actually showing us that it looks absolutely bullish, and I personally think that we are actually quite likely to see a very huge movement towards the upside once we see this crossover occur eventually, perhaps today or even tomorrow. So the last time this occurred, let's take a quick look. That was at this point in time, just to be sure to see if the correct, if I'm showing you the correct things. And what you can clearly see over here is that we saw something very similar occur. Why is this the case? Well, this does not count because it was a lower low than this one. So that is for sure something I want to show you. But at this point in time, we did see something very similar occur. What did we see? We were creating at this point in time these beautiful lower, oh sorry, that didn't work out as the way I wanted to, but we are seeing this beautiful lower lows on the chart, but we were seeing this higher lows on the MACD. Therefore, once we saw this crossover occur at this point in time, you could clearly see that we experienced a major run up towards the upside. This run up was approximately, let's take a quick look. This was a run up of approximately, let's take a look, 10.5%, and this for sure set the tone for afterwards a decline. But right now, I think personally that we are very likely to see a major run up getting started because the MACD does actually look very bullish to me. So if we take a quick look at where we are currently at, you can clearly see that the MACD is creating once more lower lows on the chart, higher lows on the MACD, and therefore I think a possible run up towards the upside clearly of approximately 10% on Monday is very likely to occur if we do hold strong on top of this 0.5 range. So I'm sorry guys, I'm not sure, it's due to the winter, but hopefully you're still enjoying the content, and if you do, I would highly appreciate if you could give me a thumbs up down below. So perfect. Let's take a quick look as well at a few other things I wanted to show you, starting with the RSI. On the RSI, what you can clearly see is that we are seeing this bullish divergence taking place on the 4-hourly time frame. Why is this the case? Well, it's actually quite similar. We are creating a lower low on the chart and a higher low on the RSI. So we are seeing clearly a bullish divergence taking place. What is this actually telling us? Well, it's telling us that it is actually quite likely that we're going to be able to find a stronghold on top of the 0.5 at approximately $54,000. Well, that is absolutely marvelous because right now this is actually very bullish. The MACD looks bullish, the RSI looks very bullish, and I personally think it is actually quite likely that we are going to hold strong on top of this range. And also, the only concern that I do have so far is what we discussed previously during the first minutes so far, is that we are actually seeing a level of resistance right above us if we enable the Fibonacci speed resistance. So if we enable the Fibonacci speed resistance, well, you can clearly see, oh, I'm sorry, I did it wrong. If we enable this Fibonacci speed resistance, we can clearly see that we are right now actually experiencing some kind of resistance right on top of us. If we zoom in a little bit closer, you can clearly see that we are actually right now seeing resistance underneath the 0.382. So therefore, it is quite likely that we are actually going to be, it will be quite difficult to see an eventual breakout above this range. But once we do, it is very likely that we are going to see a major run up towards the upside. So that is for sure very important to me. Well, this being said, I would like to take a quick look immediately at what we are seeing on the 1-hourly time frame and if we are spotting any type of patterns. This being said, I would like to discuss immediately as well this previous pattern that we were seeing. Well, we were for sure seeing this very bearish pattern getting created. This was a bearish descending triangle. Why is this the case? Because we were creating lower highs every single time, and what you clearly saw is that once we saw a breakout occur, we did see a major rejection taking place, heading straight back down even below this horizontal level of support, and we are right now trading underneath it. So that is quite important for me to know. Well, what else are we currently seeing on the 1-hourly time frame? Well, let's start by taking a quick look at a few trend lines and placing those as good as possible. Well, if we take a quick look on the 1-hourly time frame, you can clearly see that if we place a trend line like this, we are seeing a level of resistance. We are clearly seeing multiple touch points underneath this range, so that is for sure absolutely important. We would like to see a breakout occur in the immediate short term during the next upcoming days above this range, heading towards the upside afterwards. So for sure this is something you would like to consider. But as well, if we take a look down below, you could clearly see, well, we have seen as well multiple touch points on top of this descending resistance. So you could call this a descending broadening wedge, but I personally think this big scale picture, and I think the most important thing here is actually this descending resistance, because this ascending support, I personally think that the Fibonacci level where we are actually trading currently above is more important than what we are seeing right here. But if we take a little bit of a closer look on the 1 hourly time frame, you can clearly see that we have been accumulating on top of the Fibonacci range at approximately 0.382, and if we hold strong, I will be placing the Fibonacci once more, I'm sorry guys, but if we hold strong, I personally think that we will be heading towards the 0.382 range above us on Monday, and that would be actually quite an exponential growth from the point where we are currently at, especially because we will be heading all the way towards the $57,000, and that is actually a move of approximately, let's take a quick look, 6.5%. And that is for sure something you do not want to miss out on, especially if you are right now trading in cryptocurrencies. I personally think that Monday will be a great opportunity to place a long position and to see if you are able to, well, enter the market and, well, get as much gains as possible, because that's what we are eventually all doing here. So let's rock the market together, guys, and let's take a quick look if we are seeing any type of good entry point or opportunity. Well, I would like to take a quick look as well at the Bitfinex 1 hourly heat map. As I said previously, the heat map is actually showing us where the buy and sell orders are, how more yellow or orange, you might call this orange as well, how more yellow or orange the line is, how more buy and sell orders there are at a certain level, and how, well, blue or gray they are, that there are certain amounts of buy orders there. But you can clearly see that at this point in time above us at $55,559 there are a major amount of buy and sell orders, and as well down below at $52,848 there are a major amount of buy and sell orders as well. So for sure, absolutely important to take this into consideration. If you are right now willing to place a trade, I would personally place my trade a little bit higher above this level where people are actually willing to sell and buy, and therefore I would select like perhaps the $53,125. And if we take a quick look at what we are currently seeing on the chart, if we take a quick look at the 53,100, no, 53,100 is for sure way too low. I personally think that that would be not the stronghold, way further below the stronghold that we would like to actually see get created. So personally, I would enter my trade a little bit differently, perhaps saying it will retest this descending support once more on the 1 hourly time frame, and that would be heading towards perhaps the $53,436. Entering your trade here would perhaps mean that we are going to see a major move and leg towards the upside on Monday, and that is exactly what you would like to see. Well, lastly, I would like to discuss, guys, on the 1 hourly time frame, the EMA ribbon clearly serving as a level of resistance. And what we would like to see eventually on Monday is to see it, well, at least right now on Sunday, a stronghold getting created on top of the 0.5, but eventually seeing a breakout above the EMA ribbon, finding support on top of it, and heading towards a retest of this descending resistance with major confidence, especially because it's perfectly aligned with the 0.382. So at the $57,844, we will see actually a major stronghold of resistance on top of us. So that is for sure something you would like to take into consideration. On the 4 hourly time frame, you can clearly see that the EMA ribbon is also aligned right now, and well, a little bit underneath the 0.382, but that is for sure showing us that if we see momentum towards the upside, it will be a difficult momentum to be able to break out above the 0.382 range, and as well above this descending resistance that we are currently seeing. So for sure, very interesting price action, and well, I will be monitoring this very closely, and I think everyone should do so if you're right now into cryptocurrencies. as well. If we take a quick look at not just the EMA ribbon, but lastly on the daily and the 1 hourly time frame at the MACD, what you can clearly see is that we are right now experiencing momentum towards the upside. Unfortunately, we haven't seen major momentum towards the downside previously on the 1 hourly time frame. Therefore, I personally think that this momentum towards the upside won't be a momentum with major movement. Perhaps we are just going to be able to hold strong on top of the range where we are currently at, but that is actually very bullish to me for sure. And I think that will be actually quite good for the overall trend. Well, this being said, guys, I would actually highly appreciate if you could place a comment down below with a cryptocurrency of your own choice, so I could take a look at it and see what the current price actually is and what we could expect during the upcoming hours and days on that certain cryptocurrency. And as well, if you are liking the content so far, do not forget to give me a thumbs up down below. It will be highly appreciated and you will be supporting the channel by doing so. So please do not forget to give those thumbs up down below. Well, this was what I wanted to discuss about Bitcoin, and I have seen, well, actually quite interesting price development on Cardano, but I've seen right now that we have kinda well, welcome to this live stream. I really appreciate you being here, and she wants me to take a quick look at XRP. So let's discuss XRP just for a while. Well, let's take a quick look, guys. Sorry, 1 second, please. And let's discuss what we are currently seeing. Well, for sure, what I think is absolutely important is that we are right now on XRP seeing a major breakdown. We saw a breakdown underneath this falling wedge pattern. We did for sure see a movement all the way towards the 0.786. We went to the $95 We did not hold strong. And if we take a quick look on the 1 hourly time frame, we can clearly see what we were creating. So we saw this major leg towards the downside. And check the weekly MACD about to get at that cross. Well, I will do shortly. As well, let's take a quick look at what we're seeing here. So we were creating this beautiful pattern on the 1 hourly time frame. We were seeing these multiple touch points, and it was actually just like a minor ascending triangle. If you ask me, I would call this a minor ascending triangle on the 1 hourly time frame on XRP, and you could clearly see that we got rejected exactly by the EMA ribbon, and the EMA ribbon did actually not give us any chance to see a breakout occur above it or retesting it as a level of resistance. We went immediately straight back down towards the downside, and we have now found support on top of approximately, let's take a quick look, $90 range. Well, that is exactly a range that I personally think is quite interesting on XRP, because I think that is a major importance level. But I would like to discuss the daily time frame, especially to see what the overall trend is, well, how it looks like and what we are actually going to expect right now. So clearly we are right now below the 0.786. If we see a further decline below it, it is likely that we're going to head towards the 84 cents. That is for sure something I think personally is very likely to occur right now, especially because we broke down below it. But if we do see that major increase on Bitcoin, XRP will for sure hold strong on top of this range. And heading towards the 84 range, I think that is actually unrealistic, because if we take a look at previous data, it is more likely that we're going to hold strong, well, on top of the 90-cent range, or well, yeah, 90 cents is actually quite accurate, or 89, that is the range that we are looking at right now. So you could clearly see that we held strong at that point in time for sure. And if we enable the 200-day moving average, you can clearly see that it is right now serving as a level of resistance on top of us. So this is actually something quite important on the daily time frame. I personally think that you would like to actually see a breakout occur above this 200-day moving average on Monday. Otherwise, it is very likely that we are going to get rejected and head towards the downside, creating a more bearish pattern, seeing more decline in the price action of XRP. For sure, something I'm personally not looking forward to, and I think lots of people are actually very bullish on XRP. So it would actually be very healthy if we could hold strong on top of the 200-day moving average for sure. And if we take a quick look at the MACD, you can clearly see that on the daily time frame we are actually experiencing some resistance underneath it. We did experience resistance as well in the past underneath the MACD, but we actually recovered rather quickly and we saw movement towards the upside. So exactly something similar to what we've seen in the past could occur right now, because we also dropped below the 200-day moving average for a small while, and we did see a major run up towards the upside afterwards. So this is actually quite likely to occur, and I think you should consider this as a possibility. But what else is actually quite important to monitor closely right now, especially on XRP? So if we disable all indicators, well, I would like to show you that what I think is quite important is actually the descending resistance, of course. But I think it will be actually more, or well, easier to draw this descending resistance on the 4-hourly time frame. So I will be started like from the highest point, but I personally think that it won't be, yeah, it won't be actually a good starting point for this descending resistance. You could better be placing it like this, and for sure you could be extending it, but perhaps to this point in time instead of the high, because right now I'm selecting the high of this candle, the candle that we saw towards the downside. Especially because if you like go even further, you could perhaps see that we are as well like selecting, well, the not the fake out, because this was clearly a fake out, so something you do not want to actually count on this descending resistance, because we got clearly rejected immediately and we found resistance immediately underneath. So we were going up and we immediately found resistance underneath, and resistance underneath. So an immediate short term, you would actually like to see a breakout occur above this descending resistance, creating a trend reversal on XRP. For sure, very important to monitor this closely. And as well, if we take a quick look at the EMA ribbon, what you can clearly see is that it is perfectly aligned with this descending resistance, creating a major level of resistance on top of us. So for sure, right now, what I personally would like to see is actually a stronghold getting found on top of the 0.786 at 95 dollar cents, and afterwards seeing a movement towards the upside, breaking out above this descending resistance and heading towards the upside once more. But for sure, this will take actually quite a lot of major price action, and therefore we would actually like to monitor this very closely, because if we head towards a retest, it is very likely that we could expect a rejection taking place, and if we get rejected at this point in time, it is likely that we will be actually heading towards that $90 range, but perhaps even further down towards that 84 range where we have been before as well. Well, this being said, I would like to discuss as well the MACD on the 4-hourly time frame. On the 4-hourly time frame, you can clearly see that the MACD does actually look similar to Bitcoin. We are seeing this, well, decline in momentum. That is for sure absolutely important, because we would actually eventually like to see a crossover taking place, especially on Monday, experiencing momentum towards the upside, and as I said previously, breaking out above this descending resistance and creating a trend reversal. Well, this does actually look very good. If we head towards the daily time frame, what I think is actually good to know is that if we experience major momentum towards the upside on Monday, being able to break out above this descending resistance, finding support on top of it, and heading towards the upside afterwards, it is actually quite likely that we are going to see once more a minor decline on the RSI. Therefore, if we do see a decline, it is likely that we are actually going to see an eventual crossover as well on the daily time frame, and that is exactly what we would like to see right now on XRP, especially because it is very, very good to see this occur, because we will be experiencing major momentum towards the upside as we have seen before once we see a crossover on the daily MACD. So for sure, the daily MACD is showing us that once we experience major momentum on the 4-hourly time frame, it will be likely that if we see further continuation of price action and increase in price, it is likely that we're going to see a crossover occur. So, well, this being said, I discussed the MACD, and therefore I would like to discuss as well the RSI. What are we seeing on the RSI? Well, the RSI does actually look rather good to me. If we take a quick look here, I will be making it a little bit bigger. I will make the chart as well a bit bigger. I will head towards the upside, and I will carry the RSI if it allows me to. No, it doesn't. Yeah, it does. You can clearly see something I think is quite interesting. So we did see for sure a lower low getting created on the chart, but we are seeing a slightly but we are seeing a slightly higher one, slightly higher on the RSI. So for sure, this is also why we were able to hold strong on this point in time at approximately 0.786 at 95 cents. But what I think is absolutely important is that it does look absolutely good on the RSI for Chainlink due to the fact that we are actually very low on the RSI. We have broken down below the dotted line already two consecutive times, and what you could see the last time that we retested this range, we were actually able to see major movement towards the upside on the RSI, and as well an increase in price action taking place. So for sure something similar to this is quite likely to occur, but what we would eventually like to see is a breakout on Monday all the way towards the upper part on the RSI, helping us to see a further growth and creating a breakout above this descending resistance EMA ribbon and heading towards the upside eventually. So this is the RSI on the 4-hourly time frame. Let's take a quick look at the daily time frame. On the daily time frame, what we are currently seeing is that we are for sure seeing this bullish divergence taking place. We are seeing this, well, clearly higher low, and we are clearly seeing as well this lower low on the RSI, meaning that if we do see a further decline, it is likely. We have still plenty of space on the lower side on the RSI, but what is for sure important is that if we do see a breakdown, we will be quite near the dotted line on the lower part, and therefore it is likely that we will see a reversal taking place. And the very last time this occurred, when we were in a steady downtrend on XRP, we clearly saw two touch points on top of this dotted line on the lower part, and eventually we did see this major run-ups getting started. Something very similar to this I think will be occurring, but I personally think that we won't be seeing a double bottom getting created on XRP, and for sure this is something I think is very worthy to monitor closely during the upcoming days. Check the WMACD for BTT. Now I will be checking the MACD for BTT for sure. Do not worry. Well, lastly, let's take a quick look. Well, this was what I wanted to discuss on the XRP chart. If you did like the content, do not forget to give me a thumbs up down below. It will be highly appreciated. But let's take a quick look due to the fact that Ben Cos would like me to take a quick look at the weekly MACD on Bitcoin. So let's take a quick look at the weekly MACD on Bitcoin and see what we are expecting right there. So I will be removing a few of the drawings. I will be actually leaving the rising wedge pattern that we are seeing on the daily time frame getting created, and let's take a quick look at the MACD. So on the MACD, yeah, we are actually heading towards a crossover on the weekly time frame, but yeah, for sure I personally think that this is not actually something that we will be seeing or that will take place, because I personally think that we will be finding a stronghold as I explained previously, and I'm actually not worried at all, because we are heading towards a crossover, but we have seen a continuation previously, and I think it is very likely that we will see continuation once more. So personally on the weekly time frame, I personally do not have any type of worries at all so far, especially because we are not seeing any type of bearish signs on the MACD so far. We are not seeing any type of we did see a higher high, lower high, but personally I'm still very bullish on the overall trend, especially if we take a look at the daily time frame. You can clearly see the opposite taking place. If we do experience momentum towards the upside on Monday, we will for sure be heading as well towards a crossover on the daily, and this is eventually also going to be able to see an increase in price action afterwards. And what is most importantly is that we will be as well not heading towards a crossover on the weekly time frame. So right now I'm personally not very concerned about the overall trend. Something I would actually like to discuss right away on the daily time frame is actually something quite important so far, and that is the for sure bull market support band. What I must admit is does look very good is that the bull market support band is actually perfectly aligned with this ascending support range. So we have seen multiple touch points on the daily time frame on top of this ascending support range, but the bull market support band is actually perfectly aligned with this range as well. Therefore, if we see a retest on top of this bull market support band, I'm personally quite bullish because I think we will be seeing a major leg towards the upside. If we head to previous data, you can clearly see that once we see a touch point on top of the bull market support band, um, lots of times we see a major run up afterwards as well. Well, let's say here in 2000. Well, I hope it's loading. No, it's not. But as well, you could clearly see that on the, if we take like a reverse psychology into place, you can clearly see that if we see a breakdown occur, we retest the, well, bull market support band, we most of the times get rejected with a major move towards the downside. So this time we got rejected and we saw a major move of approximately 34% taking place eventually. And once we see a breakout, we can also see that lots of times we see a breakout above it and a support being found on top of it. So let's say it was something similar to this. I personally think that if we right now hold strong on top of the bull market support band, we will be for sure heading towards a major move towards the upside. And right now, I'm currently just personally being very bullish on Bitcoin and the overall price action, especially because lots of signs are actually showing us major strongholds of support below us, and I'm not concerned about the overall trend at all. So if we head even all the way towards the $52,000, for example, it is still very bullish to me because we will still be able to find support on top of this ascending support. As I said previously during this live stream, I will be concerned once we will be seeing a breakdown below this range heading further down, because at that point in time we will be actually seeing a confirmed breakdown, and it is very likely that once we see a breakdown below these ranges, that we will be heading for sure towards the $29 range level at the beginning of this rising wedge. And that is something I'm very not excited about, and I think lots of us won't be actually pumped about this development. So therefore, the current price action is not concerning to me, because I think it's very good that we are able to purchase at cheap prices, and you should do so if you are right now still a little bit doubtful, because you will be regretting it once we will be reaching the 100k. But for sure, it's your personal decision and you have to do your own due diligence if you would like to purchase cryptocurrencies. But if you do not have a platform to do so, it will be highly appreciated if you could use down below Bybit, because you will also be earning $3,500 deposit bonus if you use the link down below, and if especially if you are a first-time depositor, because otherwise it won't be working. So do not forget to use the link down below if you would like to purchase any type of crypto, as well the page that I use, well, certainly the most. Well, this being said, I think I've discussed Bitcoin so far so good, and I would like to actually take a quick look at a few other cryptocurrencies, starting with the Cardinal price action. So I will be removing the bull market support band, and I will be heading towards a 4-hourly time frame. And what you can clearly see right over here is that I was looking as well at the Fibonacci, well, strength extension at time extension, and you can clearly see that we were right now heading towards the touch point on top of the 0.786 at $1.45, and as well we will be actually heading towards the lowest part, or well, the further ring on the Fibonacci range. So if we head all the way towards this point, we hold strong on top of the $1.45, it is likely that eventually we will be going to see a touch point and a major move towards the upside, because that is something that does occur often on this Fibonacci. So as well, we are able to see that it served as support, it served as resistance underneath, it served as resistance underneath. So I am actually using this more often lately, and it is quite a good indicator for sure. So that is why I wanted to show you this right now. As well, I would like to discuss right away the current price action and why we are actually trading inside of this descending parallel channel. We have seen multiple touch points below this descending resistance. We have also seen multiple touch points on top of this descending support. So that is for sure something I think personally is quite important on Cardano. And what I think is as well very good to know is that this descending resistance is actually perfectly aligned with the EMA ribbon. So therefore, if we would like to see a breakout occur above this descending resistance, finding support on top of us and heading towards the upside, we will actually be also needing to break out above the EMA ribbon, and that is for sure a stronghold that we haven't been able to break out already for several weeks. Well, am I right? Yeah. For several weeks, we haven't been able to break out above the EMA ribbon, and what I think is for sure very good to know is that we have seen already, well, 3 times a major rejection taking place once we try to retest the EMA ribbon. So therefore, I personally think that we are right now at the correct time and place to see a further run up and move towards the upside getting created. So this is for sure very important. And what else is actually going on? So if we enable the MACD, what you can clearly see on the 4 hourly time frame is that we are right now seeing a momentum loss. We did experience a minor movement towards the downside. We did as well experience prior to that a minor movement towards the upside. So the price action currently is just, well, sideways accumulation, and I personally think that it does actually look very good for sure, especially because we are quite far on the lower part of the MACD, and once we see most of the times a breakout above this type of downtrends, it is most of the time some movement of major movement towards the upside. So therefore the MACD does actually look good to me, and if we do see an increase in price action during Monday, and it's likely that we're going to see eventually a breakout above this descending resistance and further movement towards the upside getting created. If we take a quick look at the daily time frame, well, the daily time frame does look absolutely certainly different. We are experiencing this major momentum towards the downside. A crossover is not happening anytime soon, but what I think for sure is something you have to take into consideration on the daily time frame is that we would like to see major movement towards the upside getting created. We have seen prior that if we have like major movement towards the downside, minor movement towards the upside, minor movement towards the downside, we could expect a major move towards the upside. And I think we have seen that, well, minor price action, we have already seen like major movement towards the downside right now. And personally, I think that once we see a crossover on the daily MACD, we will be actually seeing a major move getting created on Cardano towards the upside. I know some people do disagree with me about that Cardano will be heading towards that $5 target, but I'm personally quite bullish on the overall cryptocurrency space. In general, I'm very bullish on Cardano because I think this project has a lot of uh, potential for the upcoming month and for sure for the upcoming years. And I think this is actually one of the perhaps best buying opportunities that you will have during the upcoming months. So therefore, if you are right now not yet invested on Cardano, this might be something you would like to look into. Um, well, this being said, I would like to take a quick look at the RSI. On the RSI, what we are clearly seeing is that we are breaking down on the daily time frame below the dotted line. Therefore, this is giving me a lot of confidence that we are going to see actually a reversal taking place or an increase in price action for sure, breaking out above the dotted line on the lower part and seeing a further increase towards the upside. We have seen this before as well. The last time that we actually broke down below the dotted line on the lower part was at this point in time after we saw as well a decline in price action for quite a long period of time, exactly from the 14th of May, 14th of June, so 1 month, 14th of July, so 2 months, so 2 months, a little bit more than 2 months. And at this point in time, we saw like 24th of August until the 24th of September, so 1 month, 24th of October, and right now we are. So this is a 3 month downtrend. So this is for sure something I personally think that is quite important because this downtrend is showing us that we are once more at this point in time, and we clearly saw the last time that this occurred, we were able to see a major run up of 141%, if I'm right, getting started. And this is for sure something you do not want to miss out on. Well, you can clearly see, yeah, it was a 200% run up even. So I personally think that Cardano is right now very undervalued. So far, I am actually very bullish on this trend, and especially because we are breaking down below the dotted line on the daily time frame. I do expect that movement towards the upside will be for sure the case during the upcoming days, and for sure as well during the upcoming hours. If we take a quick look at the 4 hourly time frame, well, clearly we're spotting a bullish divergence right away. We are seeing this lower low on this chart, and we have seen this. Well, sorry guys. And we have seen as well this higher low on the RSI. Therefore, we are seeing a bullish divergence, and this is for sure as well why we are holding strong right now at $1.47. and that is actually quite a good thing to me, because I personally think that we will be able to see a further increase in price action for sure. And yeah, that is something you do not want to miss out on. This is actually looking very good to me, and what I think is absolutely the most important thing right now is to see a potential breakout above this descending resistance, finding support on top of it and heading towards the upside. And what that breakout will actually look like is something I would like to measure right away. I will be measuring the breakout by selecting the beginning of, or well, a touch point below the descending resistance, straight back down towards the touch point on top of this ascending support. So this will be actually our measurement outside of this, well, descending parallel channel. And you can clearly see that if we will be breaking out, for example, on the 29th of November, that will be tomorrow at approximately 1 a.m. So that would be tonight. Let's say we will be breaking out tomorrow morning. That is a potential price target heading all the way towards the 0.618 at $1.80. And I personally think that this is actually a quite likely scenario that we will be seeing on Monday occur. So therefore, I am right now saying to you that you have to monitor Cardinal very closely, because this is a potential target and move of approximately, let's take a quick look, 13.2%. And for sure, I personally think right now that this is an absolute likely scenario that we will be seeing during the Monday run up, especially because Bitcoin does actually look extremely bullish as well on the weekend chart. So therefore, I think once we see more volatility enter the market on Monday, we will actually see major growth. And as well, we will be heading towards December. So I think the overall trend will be a little bit more bullish than we perhaps might expect right now, due to the fact that we have seen those major dumps during the past couple of days. Well, this being said, lastly, I would like to, once more ask all of you who are watching so far to, well, place a comment down below with a cryptocurrency of your own choice, so I could take a look at it and give my personal opinion on what the current price action looks like and what we could expect during the upcoming days. And as well, if you're liking the content, do not forget to give me that thumbs up down below. It will be highly appreciated, and yeah, for sure you will be supporting the channel as well. So thank you very much, guys. And if you do not actually place a cryptocurrency down below in the description, I will be actually selecting a cryptocurrency of my own choice right now. And if I must admit, I think I will be taking a quick look at ETH as well, to take a look at what we are currently seeing, especially because no one is so far reacting in the comment section. So let's take a quick look at what we're seeing. So for sure, previous support has become, because we saw this, well, lovely breakout. We did see heading it all the way towards the 61 Fibonacci at, let's take a look, 4,553 US dollars. Afterwards, we saw this major dump, and right now we are clearly finding resistance underneath this previous support. So that is something I'm very not, I'm not actually very concerned, but I'm not pumped that this did occur, especially because we were actually seeing this lovely run up getting created, and as well a breakout outside of this pattern. Sorry, guys. What we did see as well on the 1 hourly time frame is that we were creating, well, this rising wedge pattern, you would also almost say so. You could see that we were seeing this multiple touch points. We were seeing these multiple touch points as well on the upper part, and we did see eventually a breakdown all the way towards the beginning of this ascending support, and that is clearly where it should have been going towards. What I think is quite important to know so far is actually something I'm seeing currently at this point in time, and that is that we are actually seeing, well, right now it's not very it is noticeable, but it's not a very huge pattern. But I personally think that we will be heading towards a W structure. You could clearly see a breakdown below the neckline. The neckline will be then absolutely at 23.6% Fibonacci at 4,168 US dollars. And that is for sure something I think that will be very likely to occur, that we will be breaking outside of this pattern. And let's take a quick look what the measurement will look like once we see a breakout on Ethereum. So if we do see a breakout above this neckline during the upcoming days in a run up, it is likely that we will be breaking out above the 38.2% at $4,315 on Ethereum. That is for sure something I think is personally very likely, and that would be a 4.6% increase after we see a breakout occur above the 23% range. So far, if we do create that W structure, it is clearly a reversal pattern. So for sure, I personally, quite bullish and quite confident actually that we will actually see something similar to this occur and creating this W structure on the 1 hourly time frame. Well, this being said, I would like to enable the EMA ribbon, and as well, I'm seeing in the comment section that Graph Rider did actually comment as well. He would like me to take a look at Filecoin, and for sure, I would like to thank you for watching this live stream. And yeah, I would like to discuss your cryptocurrency as well, but I would like to do a short analysis on ETH. So stay tuned, and let's take a quick look at what we are seeing. So for sure, on the daily time frame, we are experiencing resistance underneath the 1 hourly on the 1 hourly time frame. We are experiencing resistance underneath the EMA ribbon. For sure, we would like to see a breakout occur above it, finding support on top of it, and you can clearly see that once we see a breakout above the $23 range, we will be also seeing a breakout above the EMA ribbon, and the EMA ribbon will be serving as a level of support instead of a level of resistance as we are currently seeing. If we head towards the 4 hourly time frame, what you can clearly see is that the EMA ribbon is actually aligned at the 23.6% range. Therefore, it will be a difficult level to break out above, but once we see a breakout occur, I personally think that the 1 hourly EMA ribbon will be serving as a level of support. Therefore, it is likely that we are going to see a further continuation and as well a breakout taking place above the 4 hourly EMA ribbon. Lastly, I would like to take a quick look at the RSI on both the 4 hourly and daily time frame. On the 4 hourly time frame, you can see that the RSI does actually look good. We are not seeing any type of bullish or bearish divergences, so that does not concern me that much. What I think is important to know is that if we do see a further increase in price action, we still have plenty of space to see further continuation and increase in price action taking place before breaking out above the dotted line on the upper part and expecting as a minor reversal taking place. But for sure on Ethereum, what I think is important is that as well a further decline in price action is likely to occur. So therefore, you have to take this into consideration as well as a possibility for Monday that we would see a further decline. But it does actually look very good so far. If we take a quick look at the daily time frame as well, we are seeing clearly, nothing out of the ordinary. It does actually seem to be looking very good. And tell me if the microphone is working a little bit better. I did see actually that I was sitting on top of the cord, so perhaps that could be a problem. I really hope that you are able to hear. Well, let's take a quick look at what we were seeing on the daily time frame. Well, on the daily time frame, it's actually a quite similar scenario. We still have plenty of space towards the upside to see a breakout above the dotted line, but as well we have plenty of space towards the downside. So on Ethereum, it could go either way. Therefore, I would like to check the MACD lastly, and what you see on the daily time frame is that we are experiencing momentum towards the downside. What I think is quite good to know is that if we do experience major movement towards the upside during the upcoming days, we will for sure will be seeing as well momentum decline and a crossover eventually taking place, and that is for sure eventually what we would like to see on Ethereum during the upcoming weeks. As well on the 4 hourly time frame, it does actually look very healthy to me. We are seeing the MACD looking absolutely strong, and yeah, I'm actually not concerned. I personally think that this crossover will occur on Monday, so for sure this will be showing us the strength that we are actually expecting, or that I'm personally expecting on Ethereum, and that we will be heading towards the $4,315 for sure on Monday. If you ask me personally, that is my price target and where I personally think that we will be heading towards. Well, this being said, I would like to discuss as well, as I said previously, Filecoin. So let's take a quick look. Maybe you might know it. There's a lot of things. It's like ranked 29 coin. You should know it if you are into crypto. It's a $55 price right now and 71 cents. If we take a quick look at the market on CoinMarketCap, you can clearly see that we are inside of a downtrend. This is on the 1 year time frame. We have seen this major spike in approximately like March, April, May, and what can I for you do? I'm sorry for Siri, and we saw a downtrend, and we have been not seeing a major recovery. Right now, it's quite at a low price. And also, if we take a quick look at the market cap, well, the market cap has been rising recently, so that is actually quite good to know. And so let's take a quick look at Filecoin as well on TradingView. So File USD. Yeah. Let's discuss this crypto. So also, I would like to take a quick look as well at the comment section down below, which we have seen as Daniel. Good morning, and thank you very much as well for being here. Tim Klinkenberg, bro, crypto showing so much weakness. When will we see strength and new autumn highs, you think? And Mike was good even before it was good. Okay, perfectly. Thank you very much as well, Kinda A. I really appreciate your you being here and telling me how good the mic sounds. So thank you guys, thank you. I really appreciate that. And let's get a quick look. You are saying crypto shows a lot of weakness. I discussed Bitcoin actually for quite a long time before, and I personally do not agree with that Bitcoin is showing any type of weakness. And I would actually recommend to you, if you would like to know my personal opinion on it, that you should watch the beginning of this live stream to see what I personally think about Bitcoin and how Bitcoin is looking so far. Because right now I would like to get started on Filecoin. So Filecoin, let's take a quick look at what we are currently seeing. So yeah, let's take for sure a Fibonacci trend extension, and I would like to be placing that one so far from swing high towards swing low. And right now, oh, sorry guys, I meant we have to place this Fibonacci retracement. I'm sorry for that. And I would like to place it from swing high. I actually will be placing it on the 4-hourly on this high and not the all-time high at this point in time, because I personally think that this is a more realistic target to see the levels of support and resistance where we are currently at. If we take a quick look at what we are seeing, for sure, immediately the first impression I've got is that we are seeing this beautiful descending resistance taking place over here. We have seen multiple touch points below this range. We have seen 1, 2, 3 touch points below this descending resistance. For sure, this is a major descending resistance area that we would like to see a breakout above. So for sure, for Filecoin, we would like to see a support being found on top of it and seeing a major move towards the upside afterwards. And let's enable as well the EMA ribbon to see what we are currently watching. So if we take a quick look at the EMA ribbon, what you can clearly see is that we are right now on the 4-hourly time frame, breaking out above it actually, and seeing a movement towards the upside getting created. What I think for sure looks very strong right now is that we are not just holding strong on top of the 0.236 range at $55.92, but we are as well holding strong on top of the EMA ribbon as a level of support. So therefore, I think this coin is absolutely looking marvelous, and it is actually ready to be able to break out above this descending resistance and see a major increase afterwards. So Filecoin actually right now, just based on the levels of support and resistance, it does actually look quite healthy to me, and I personally think it is likely that we are going to see a further increase during the upcoming days. Well, this being said, I would like to take a quick look as well at what the indicators are showing us, starting with the MACD. On the MACD, what you can clearly see, this does actually not look that good at all. We are actually seeing that we are heading towards a crossover on the MACD, and this is absolutely something I think might be very likely during the upcoming hours. So perhaps we are actually not even able to hold strong on top of the EMA ribbon, and therefore a further decline once more towards the $48 where we have been currently at is likely to occur. So be very careful right now, because we are experiencing this almost crossover on the 4-hourly time frame, and that would be actually quite devastating, because it does look actually very good so far. So we would actually like to hold strong on top of this 0.236 as $55.92. But if we do see a further decline, that is actually quite a possibility due to the fact that we are right now heading towards a crossover on the MACD. If we take a quick look at the daily MACD, the daily MACD is actually experiencing the quite opposite. We are right now seeing a crossover taking place and momentum towards the upside. So I actually hope that we will be seeing actually more influence outside of this MACD instead of the 4-hourly MACD, because if we do see actually right now a crossover occur, I would like to see more momentum towards the upside on Monday for sure, being able to break out above this descending resistance and finding heading towards the upside afterwards. And what you can clearly see on the daily MACD as well, well, not on the daily MACD, but on the daily time frame, you can see that the EMA ribbon is above us, has served as a major level of resistance, and we would like to see a breakout for sure occur above the 0.382 before we will be able to break out above the descending resistance and as well the EMA ribbon at the same time, and creating a level of support underneath us instead of a level of resistance on top of us, as what we are currently for sure seeing, because right now we are getting rejected once we retested the EMA ribbon right away, right, and once we retested the EMA ribbon for the third time. Sorry guys, I had a little bit of struggle there. Well, this being said, I would like to discuss as well the RSI on the 4-hourly time frame. If we take a quick look at the 4-hourly time frame and the RSI, what we can clearly see is that we went all the way to the upper part. Afterwards, once we broke out above the dotted line, we don't see a rejection, or well, a decline for sure in strength, and as well a rejection taking place underneath the 0.236 on the chart. And we have been able to hold strong and accumulate here, and the RSI does actually look very good to me. What does concern me is that if we do experience a crossover on the 4-hourly time frame, we still have plenty of well, space on the RSI to see further continuation towards the downside before breaking down below the dotted line. And therefore I'm a little bit concerned that if we do see a crossover occur on the MACD, that we will be experiencing more momentum towards the downside. So these are the things you would like to consider so far. As well, on the 1-hourly time frame, you can clearly see that we were creating these lower highs for sure, lower highs, and we have seen, well, equal highs here, perhaps even slightly higher highs. So this is as well a bearish trend. I think this is actually quite likely that we are going to experience that crossover and see a further decline heading towards the $48 range. Perhaps I'm wrong, but what I'm currently seeing does not actually look very confident to me. So I would like to, well, say that we will be actually seeing a further decline, but just to see what else we are seeing on the 1-hourly time frame is that we are seeing this ascending support, and what is for sure important is that we are as well seeing this, well, I might say ascending, yeah, well, ascending resistance as well. So we are inside of a type of, I would say this is a rising wedge pattern, and perhaps we would like to stay on top of this, because if we do see a breakdown below this range, the $48 level is actually quite likely to get reached. But if we do see a breakout above this range, it is likely that we will be heading towards the 0.5 at $64.10, and that is exactly what we would like to see eventually on Monday, especially because we would like to see as well a breakout above this major descending resistance on the 4-hourly time frame, and major movement towards the upside afterwards, because we will be seeing a trend reversal getting created. That's for sure absolutely important. So, well, thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate all of you and all your efforts to, well, look at this live stream. If you do have any cryptocurrencies that you want me to take a look at, do not forget to do so. But as well, if you're liking the content so far, do not forget to give me a thumbs up down below, because it will be highly appreciated, and you will be actually supporting the channel by doing so. So thank you very much already. And as well, I would like to tell you that this is actually the last cryptocurrency that I will be discussing today. So please place the comments so fast as possible so I could see what you want me to discuss so far. Otherwise, I will be selecting a cryptocurrency of my own choice. So let's take a quick look at if the comments are getting in. Well, there we go. I think no one is actually right now placing any type of comments. So let's get started on Mana. I would like to call it Mana, not Mana. So there we are. Can you check out Koti? There we are. There we have a comment. So I will be actually checking out Koti and Mana, both shortly. I will be starting on Mana. I will also like to discuss only the levels of support and resistance that we are seeing. Well, we can clearly see that we were inside of this channel. Well, this line down below is clearly not well placed anymore. I think it should have been here or here perhaps, but it's not well placed anymore. But what we can clearly see is that we broke down below this previous level of we broke down for sure below this previous level of resistance. We did see multiple touch points underneath this level of resistance. Oh, let's take a quick look further in the back. There we are. I personally think that this was drawn on the 4-hourly time frame, perhaps. No. Well, it doesn't matter. What you can clearly see is that we have seen multiple touch points below this ascending resistance, and as well we did actually find support on top of it for a while, but right now we are seeing a breakdown occur, and we are finding support on top of the 0.786 at $4.37. For sure, very important so far. And I'm also glad that Earn with Lee is pumped that we are taking a quick look at Mana as well. So let's take a quick look as well at the 1-hourly time frame, especially because what we are seeing here is actually very interesting to me, and I think it will be actually a major movement towards the upside on Monday, especially because I'm actually quite bullish on Mana so far, for sure. And I personally think that Mana will actually see well, such an exponential growth in 2022 that I'm just very pumped about the development so far. Let's say it that way. We are seeing this falling wedge pattern getting created. I will be removing the previous ascending resistance where we did find support on top for just a small tad, but what you can clearly see is that we are seeing this falling wedge pattern on a 1-hourly time frame getting created. We have seen multiple touch points on top of this descending support, and we have seen also multiple touch points underneath this descending resistance. So this is for sure looking very good to me so far. And if we enable the EMA ribbon, we can clearly see that we are currently seeing a level of resistance on top of us, and as well the descending resistance serving as a resistance level. So where we are currently at is perhaps going to be a breakout, but what you have to take into consideration is that we are seeing the EMA ribbon as a level of resistance underneath us, on top of us. So therefore, it is likely that we are going to perhaps experience a further decline and get rejected. But let's take a quick look at other indicators to see if this is actually the case. So let's start by taking a look at the MACD. The MACD does absolutely look very strong. We are right now seeing a crossover on the 1-hourly time frame. So therefore, we could expect an increase in price action even further on Mana so far. And as well, if we head towards the 4-hourly time frame, you can clearly see that we are heading towards a crossover. So I'm right now currently expecting that we will be seeing a breakout occur. And if we take a quick look as well at the RSI before, well, being too enthusiastic or too happy about and pumped about this development, let's take a quick look at what we're currently seeing. We were seeing, as of course, a bullish divergence on the 4-hourly time frame. We were seeing this beautiful higher low getting created, and we were seeing as well the slightly lower low getting created on the RSI. So therefore, we are seeing right now as well a bullish divergence on the RSI. This is absolutely telling me that we are going to see a major explosion on Mana, so do not miss out on this opportunity. And I will be personally as well trading this well so far, so I am actually going to be entering a trade shortly after I will be discussing Kotti, our last cryptocurrency, during this live stream. I'm sorry, Yura, that I won't be able to take a look at economy, but you can do Omi, thanks for economy, and well, I will try to do economy as well. So for sure, Mana right now so far, we are seeing this bullish divergence on the 4-hourly time frame. If we head towards the 1-hourly time frame, I personally think that it might have looked good as well. Well, we are not seeing any type of bullish divergences, but we are not seeing any type of bearish divergences either. And for sure, this is absolutely looking great to me. This breakout is actually something I think will be absolutely inevitable. And let's discuss how I will personally be as well placing, well, my stop loss long position on this cryptocurrency. So I will be actually placing my entry at approximately, well, where we are currently at. I will try to catch it a little bit lower. So I will try to enter the position, let's say here, at approximately $4.58, and I will be actually let's take a quick look how far this will be. This is a 4%, so that's a little bit too far for most people. So let's take a quick look. I think I will be selecting this range as a level where I will be placing my stop loss. And the reason why is because you can clearly see that we did actually see well, resistance underneath it several times, and as well support on top of it. So if we just place this horizontal ray even further in the past, I personally think that you will also be able to see that we did find support on top of it here as well. So therefore, this would be my stop loss. This would be my entry at $4.58, stop loss at $4.47, and I would be placing my take profit. Well, it's very easy outside of a falling wedge pattern. My take profit would be at the beginning of this descending resistance at $5.77. So this is for sure a perfect trading opportunity so far that we have seen on Maina. So do not forget to take a quick look at what we are seeing here, and what a perfect opportunity this is to, well, get major gains, especially because Maina does actually look extremely bullish so far. As well, for the people who would like actually to trade with me, do not forget to use the link down below in the description. You will be able to earn $3,500 deposit bonus on Bybit if you're a first-time depositor. So do not forget to do so, and as well, you will be supporting the channel, so that will be highly appreciated. But most importantly, we will be rocking the market together and making those money, guys. So let's get well, let's get pumped and let's get more and more crypto, right? That is the ultimate goal over here. So this was what I wanted to discuss. Maina does absolutely good, and I'm expecting a major leg towards the upside on Monday. So guys, do not forget to well, for sure, if you do agree with me, give me a thumbs up down below, but as well to purchase Maina, because it looks incredible so far. Well, let's take a quick look at a few coins that well, some of you wanted me to discuss. Well, I will be taking a quick look at COTI, because that one was a request so far. Well, COTI is a 182 range currency. It is right now currently priced at $38. It has a market cap of $330 million. And if we take a quick look at the yearly basis, we are right now seeing a downtrend. And let's get started and take a quick look at what we are seeing on TradingView. So if we take a quick look at COTI USD, let's take a quick look, guys. There we are. So COTI, so far on the 4-hourly time frame, I would like to discuss this, and we are seeing that we are inside of this major downtrend. Yeah, well, major downtrend always means that we would like to place immediately a trend line to recognize where the descending resistance is. At this point in time, we are seeing that this is the descending resistance above us. And what I think is important is that, whoa, this does actually look not absolutely marvelous to me. I will actually be selecting from swing low towards swing high. And yeah, well, if I place my Fibonacci like this is actually, I think, the well, most accurate way to place it, because I always like to select the uptrend before, but if we do select the uptrend even prior to that, we would be clearly seeing like a movement towards the downside, and like type of cup getting created. But you know, it's a double top that we saw on COTI, and well, let's say we will be selecting it from here towards its swing high. Well, we are currently at 0.786. We are finding support on top of it if we do it this way. What I think is concerning is that we formed this double top pattern and we got rejected. So perhaps we are going to see a further decline on COTI so far. That is something I think is perhaps possible, but if we take a quick look at what we are currently seeing, I think we are inside of this falling wedge pattern. If I'm right, let's see if this is a possibility. So yeah, well, it is a possibility. So we are inside on the 4-hourly time frame of this major falling wedge pattern. So therefore, perhaps it might be good to monitor this very closely, especially because if we take a quick look at the EMA ribbon, it is perfectly aligned with this descending resistance. So on COTI, this is the pattern that you are looking at. If we are actually going to experience a breakout, you could expect a breakout all the way towards its prior high at approximately 65 cents. So that is still a major move towards the upside of, let's say, approximately 64%. But if you do see a breakdown occur, it will be also a major breakdown, and I think something you do not want to actually be seeing so far. And what does actually look very good to me right now in the 4-hourly time frame is that we are actually holding strong on top of previous levels of resistance. We can clearly see that we were expecting resistance here. We experienced resistance here. We did also find support on top of it for a while where we are currently trading at. So that does actually look good, that we are actually holding strong on top of previous levels of support and resistance. So therefore, I am not ultimately bearish on this cryptocurrency, but I must admit that if we do see a breakdown below this falling wedge pattern, we will actually expect a major move towards the downside. Well, this being said, I would like to take a quick look at the MACD. On the MACD, what you can clearly see is that it does look actually quite good for the Monday. We are right now seeing a momentum loss getting created. Therefore, we will actually be quite likely to see a crossover occur on Monday if we do see a continuation of movement towards the upside and an increase of price action. So perhaps we are going to see eventually that breakout if we do see major movement towards the upside. As well, if we take a quick look at the daily time frame, yeah, as well here, we did experience already major movement towards the downside. If we do see right now an increase in price action, it is likely that we are going to see a breakout occur, as well, support being found on top, and a major move towards the upside of 64%. So far, I am actually a little bit more how may I say this? I'm not so concerned anymore because this does actually look very good, especially because we are actually finding support on top of previous highs. That is actually something that I think is very important. We are finding support on top of these highs. We are not breaking down below those. And actually, the MACD does actually look very good to see a further continuation towards the upside and eventually a 64% move from this point on. So lastly, I would like to take a quick look at the RSI. The RSI, we have been in this downtrend and we are seeing clearly a bullish divergence taking place on the daily time frame. We are seeing that in comparison to our previous low, we are creating a higher low and we are creating a lower low on the RSI. So therefore, this is a bullish divergence, but you can clearly see that it has been a bullish divergence for quite a while. So if we do see right now a stronghold being found and an increase in momentum towards the upside, it is very likely as well this bullish divergence will for sure be helping the overall trend on the daily time frame. If we head towards a 4-hourly time frame, I would like to take a quick look at what we are currently seeing. Well, over here you can clearly see right away that we are seeing something very similar occur. We are seeing these lower lows getting created on the chart, and we are seeing these higher lows getting created on the RSI. So therefore, this is actually showing us that the bullish divergence is taking place as well on the 4-hourly time frame. I am very confident that we won't be breaking down below this range where we are currently at 0.786 Fibonacci at 37 cents, because this is quite well, I think it would be quite unusual if we would see a breakdown, especially because the MACD does look very bullish. Both the RSIs do look very bullish, and yeah, well, I'm actually just expecting that we will actually see a breakout outside of this pattern on Monday. So that is something you would like to monitor very closely. But for sure, if we do see a breakout outside of this pattern, your target would like to be, well, at the beginning of this descending resistance, and that would be at approximately this point in time at $64. That is a major increase in price action, and for sure something you do not want to miss out on. So I hopefully gave you the information you wanted, and well, yeah, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you like the content so far, guys. Well, lastly, I would like to take a quick look at the economy. Sorry. So Ecomi. So it's Omi or wrapped Ecomi. Do you Omi tag Omi? So it's just a regular one. I'm not aware of this cryptocurrency. Just to tell to all of you guys, I'm not someone who has read anything about this cryptocurrency, so I'm not sure where it stands for. It's ranked 222. It is a market. It has a current price of $0.005. It has a market cap of $934 million. And for sure, if we take a look at all time, you can see that we have seen a major high a run up towards the upside, and we are right now seeing a minor downtrend getting started. The market cap does actually look rather similar, and I must say that we are, well, quite a high point right now market cap, but it might be a good buying opportunity. So let's take a quick look what the trading view chart is showing us. So let's take a quick look. Economy Tether. Let's use OKX. I hope this will be a good chart, and it is. So perfect. Let's take a quick look at what we are seeing. So far on the 4-hourly time frame, well, you can immediately see that we are as well in a downtrend. As I said previously, we are seeing this descending resistance, but I would like to place it perhaps even here. Yeah, well, it doesn't matter that much. It's a descending resistance for sure. Let's say we place the descending resistance. You're seeing as well this support range over here. Yeah, that is good. And we are seeing that we are inside of a descending parallel channel. So this is for sure something you would like. So OMI is the, so just guys, the Beef app metaverse NFTs for Marvel character. Thanks. For sure something that has potential, so I will be reading a little bit more about it, but so far I'm just looking at the data we are seeing so far on the charts, and I will, if you do make your own due diligence about this project and you truly believe in this project, please do not hesitate to purchase these, because cryptos can be a lot of worth, especially if you get in those at the right time. But what is, I personally think, the most important thing is to actually as well be able to, well, purchase those projects where you truly believe in, because I think that is actually quite an important part of crypto, that you have to believe in the projects that you actually purchase. So where we are currently at, yeah, well, we are approximately at 0.005 at 1 Fibonacci if you compare it to the previous from swing high towards swing low, and from swing lows towards swing high, and the next level would be at 0.786 at 0.006 range. And I'm very sorry, I can't see here Mikahilu Abdulhari. I'm very sorry, I won't be having time anymore to watch, but I will be back tomorrow in the morning as well in the afternoon for a live stream. So do not forget to join me, and I will be actually discussing for a longer time period. I would like to start doing longer live streams for all of you guys, because I know you guys like to know the current market. So I personally think that I should do this more often as well. We have seen multiple touch points below this descending resistance. We have seen multiple touch points of stop of this descending support. We are actually right now finding support on top of this touch point once more. So this is actually a major stronghold of support, major stronghold of resistance. If we enable the EMA ribbon, you can clearly see that we are right now seeing the EMA ribbon above us as a level of resistance. We would like to see eventually a breakout above it, finding support on top of it, and heading even further, breaking out above this descending resistance and heading towards the upside. And what else is actually good to know on OMI so far? So if we take a quick look on the daily time frame, what you can clearly see is that the EMA ribbon is quite far above us. We are perhaps heading towards a crossover, especially because we are so far underneath. So this is something you would like to monitor very closely, because if you see a monitor on the daily time frame, it is actually quite likely that we are going to experience more momentum towards the downside. So that is for sure something you would like to take into consideration. And what I would like to discuss as well is the RSI and the MACD. If we take a quick look at the MACD, what you can clearly see is that we are right now losing a little bit of momentum strength. We are clearly seeing that, well, the momentum is heading towards a crossover on the 4-hourly time frame. So this could perhaps be that we are going to experience more momentum towards the downside. And what we would like to see is actually for sure a stronghold getting created on top of the 1 range. Otherwise, if we do see a further decline, it is likely that we are actually going to see a further movement towards the downside. What I think is important is that at this point in time, we did see a lot of price action going on. So perhaps if we do see a further decline, you would like to stay strong and holding strong on top of this range at approximately 0.00498. Well, so the MACD does not look absolutely bullish to me on the 4-hourly time frame. On the daily time frame, it does look a little bit better, especially because we have seen already major movement towards the downside. So if we do see a crossover or momentum towards the upside and as well an increase in price action, eventually we will see as well a crossover taking place on the daily time frame, and that will be well, for sure helping Ecomi to see a further growth afterwards once we see a major increase. But so far I'm not very bullish because the 4-hourly time frame does not look absolutely well, and on the 1-hourly time frame we are seeing right now a momentum loss. So I personally think that it is very likely that we're going to see a stronghold being found on top of the 0.005 range so far for the upcoming hours. If we take a quick look as well at the RSI, we are not seeing any type of bullish and nor bearish divergences, so that does actually look very good. What I think is quite important is that we are further below the 50 range, so if we do see a decline, it is very likely that we are going to break out below the dotted line soon. So therefore we will be seeing a stronghold getting found, and as well an increase afterwards in strength, and as well an increase in price action. So that does actually look good on the 1-hourly time frame. On the 4-hourly time frame, we are not seeing any type of bullish divergence either. But what I think is important is that we are actually as well quite far below on the RSI. So if we are going to see a further decline, it is likely that we are going to find strength immediately once we break down below the dotted line, and further continuation towards the upside afterwards. Therefore, I am right now very sure we will be actually holding strong on top of the range where we are currently at. So guys, Shraddha hey Toro, thank you very much for joining. Shraddha, I really appreciate you being here. Unfortunately, I will be right now ending this live stream, so I really hope you might look back towards the beginning. I discussed Bitcoin, I discussed Ethereum, I discussed Cardano, XRP. We have discussed many things during this morning on Sunday, and I would like to start doing this more often. So guys, thank you very much for watching. If you're liking the content, do not forget to give me a thumbs up, and I will be very pumped to join you tomorrow once more. So thank you guys, and have a nice day. Bye bye.